Hi, welcome to Life Wisdom with Ed Langan, the place to come for practical and spiritual information to help you move forward on your path and life wisdom from the guides. On this spiritual talk show, we talk about everything from self-love and creating your own reality to quantum physics and what your soul wants you to know. I'm your host, Ed Langan. I'm a psychic channel for the Ascended Ones. I am a life coach, a law of attraction expert, and a spiritual teacher. Other than that, I am just a regular guy, whatever that might be. In this episode, I'm going to interview Trish Tyler. She is a intuitive love strategist. We're going to talk about how she uses her intuitive abilities along with specific strategies and protocols, and how she helps and assists individuals cultivate independent understanding of the same and opposite sexes. Trish is an expert in sex and intimacy, as well as love and partnership. She is able to guide her clients through a fulfilling experience of the various types of love. So that's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to talking to her. In the second part of the show, I will channel the guides to answer questions that people have sent in ahead of time or send in during the live chat about the law of attraction or any aspect of their life. You can post questions during the live chat. Marjorie will let you know at the end. The more focused and powerful the question, the more focused and powerful the answer from the guides. Trish will be staying for the Q&A. So if you have a specific question for her, please make sure that when you type in the information that you indicate that it is for Trish. Good. Thank you for everybody who is liking and sharing my show and all of our shows on Star Nation. We really appreciate it. A heartfelt thank you for you. It makes it easy for fellow seekers to find our shows out there, so we really appreciate that. Today is going to be a big day on Star Nations because later today we have Maureen Mann's show, and then after that, Polly Jo LeBay's show is on. So this is terrific Thursday with lots of TV shows for you to check out. The magazine, the August issue, has been published, Star Nations magazine, and there's the cover there so you can see it. We will make sure we put the information into the comments so that if you'd like to subscribe, you can do that. It's a great magazine. I write for it. Maureen writes for it. Polly Jo writes for it. Nessie writes for it. Lots of people write for it. Great magazine. Courtney is here. Hi, Courtney. How are you? Nessie is here. Hi, Nessie. Nice to see you. Rob is here. Hey, Rob. Hi, Pauline. Hope all is well across the pond. Ellen Bartos. Hi, Ellen. How are you? Sandy is here. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Kayla. Excellent. Good. So I think we're good. What we're going to do is, while we're waiting for comments, I'm going to mention that once a month, we do a meditation and prayer where we hold the intention for peace, love, harmony, and healing. And ours is going to be this month, Monday, August 24th, from 7 till 7:10 p.m. 7 to 7:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So for 10 minutes, we ask you to meditate or pray and send out that information. If you can't join us on that specific day, just remember, time is not linear, so you can meditate anytime around that and add your energy to us. And the information Marge has up there on the screen is the Facebook meditation and prayer group. Excellent. Good. All right. I think that takes care of all the housekeeping. Maureen is here. Hi, Maureen. How are you? Julie is here. Chi-Chi is here. We are going to, Alyssa is here. We're going to bring up Trish, and we're going to talk to Trish. So Marge will bring her up in just a second. And there she is. Hi, Trish. How are you?
Good. How are you, Ed? I'm so glad to be here.
Excellent. Excellent. We're happy that you're here. We were experiencing a little bit of a time delay in the practice run. It looks like we're still experiencing that a little bit, so bear with us. Trish, Kayla is here, Sandy is here, and Julie Vincent is here. There's a whole lot of our friends are here checking us out today, so that'll be good. And if you're ready, why don't we just jump right in? And I think she is. So My first question is for you is you are an intuitive. When did that start happening for you? When did your abilities start opening for you?
So I think like most intuitives, we are born with them, but I think that it kind of develops over time. Of course, you get lost in real life, and the next thing you know, we have this, that, and the other going on. And then I decided I was going to check out my spirituality and really dove deep into that. And, here I am. So, yeah, it's always kind of been a thing. My sister's woo, we like to call it the woo. So, it's better than the hippie voodoo that my son likes to call me.
Okay.
Maybe we're just too powerful. Maybe our energy is just too much for any one space.
Could be. Hopefully the delay will work itself out here. So we're hoping that'll be the case.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
It'll be fine. I can see that everyone's here. So it's nice to see everyone. Thank you guys for joining. Be patient.
Good. So I also hear that you have some Native American roots. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
I do. My mother's mother, so my great grandmother was Native American. I believe that she came from what was considered their spiritual healer, their spiritual leader, was her mother. So it comes down the line. Like I said, a lot of my cousins, my sister, we're very magical in our own right. So it's kind of it's a cool thing. I'm pretty proud. I'm pretty proud of those roots.
Good. Another question for you. Why don't you give us an introduction to your work? Tell us how you work. Tell us what you do.
I lost you. You're not on the screen.
Okay, what do I do?
You go back out and.
So while Ed is coming back on the screen, and apparently now the Ed show is the Trish, so I'm totally taking advantage of this. I'm intuitive. I read cards. So I do tarot. I do mediumship, although I'm not a fan of it as much as I used to be. I'm what some people would call a seer or an oracle. Many lifetimes I have been able to do that. So I see very far into the future. I consider that a monumentous gift to have been given and to be able to reclaim. I also am I like to call it a strategist. I know that Ed likes to call it coaching, but what Ed does is coaching. What I do is strategizing. My protocols are different than his, but I am a dating strategist. So I teach you how to date correctly and how to arrive at a conclusion or to find someone that you're interested in order to maintain partnership, if that's your overall goal. Sex and intimacy have a lot to do with that, love and relationship. So I strategize in all aspects of life, but just a little bit differently than Ed does. And I definitely focus on the divine feminine and the divine masculine and kind of separating those roles. Not to be anti-feminist at all, but it's okay to have roles. It's okay to have roles and not do some of the things that we women do, because we do things. So that's what I do. I think that's a good synopsis.
Okay, good. I like that. I think it was great. I don't know if the delay has gotten any better, but we switched sides.
Ed, we're not going to worry about the delay. The universe is going to set everything up fine, and we're just going to continue to talk. It's okay.
Okay, good. Excellent.
Because we're just super powerful. Go with it. Just go with it.
I think you're right. So What is the Queen's Code?
Uh-oh. What is what?
What
You
is
faded
the
out on me.
Queen's Code? What is the Queen's Code?
The Queen's Code. So the Queen's Code is an absolutely amazing book that was written by Alison Armstrong. Alison Armstrong has a program out called the PAX program. It's all about understanding men. The Queen's Code is basically what I would call the gateway. I use it as my Bible. You guys have your Bibles? I've got mine. So anyone that works with me, especially women, I really encourage them to read the Queen's Code before working with me. And the reason why is because it helps you form new points of view in order to get you to a new portion of your life, to arrive at new conclusions that are separate from the ones that you may currently have, like emasculating men, frog farming, all that stuff.
Okay. And you've done quite a bit of studying with this. You've read the book, but you've taken many certifications, etc., with that.
I have taken the PAX program. I am a PAX program graduate. I have, I would say I have extensive background. Yeah, I've taken a lot of the Matthew Hussey's, and I've taken, I've done some work that Gabby's put out. I've taken Extreme Queen. I've taken the Heroes Challenge. I've done all of the PAX programs. Well, haven't finished the Heroes Challenge, but that's a man thing, and I'm having a hard time with it. So close though.
Okay. So women have an interesting way, and men too. Now, you've said to me that women talk to men like they're hairy women. You want to talk about a little bit about the differences on the energy and how we communicate with each other?
Oh, yeah, we don't communicate with each other.
Okay.
We don't communicate with each other. Women talk to men as if they were hairy women, and women talk to men as if they were pretty men. So I feel like I'm interrupting you. I'm sorry, Ed. So let's talk about it. Men can't read women's minds. Women want men to read their minds. My favorite thing to utilize that or explain that is, for instance, you want flowers. He doesn't know you want flowers. He has no clue that you want flowers. So let's say you say, hey, I want flowers. So he goes out and he buys you flowers. Well, he doesn't know what kind of flowers you want because you didn't tell him what kind of flowers you want. So you're setting him up for failure. Now you're pissed off because he brought you carnations and you hate carnations, when in reality, you could have taken this whole thing, cut it down to one simple little tiny sentence like, wow, I would really love it if you would bring me home a dozen red roses. What do you think he's going to do? Say no? The only reason he's going to say no is because he can't or he doesn't want to. And if he doesn't want to, he's usually going to say, yeah, no. Men are very blunt. They're very single focused, which is wonderful. It's what makes them amazing. Women want to fix men, and men are not broken. Sorry, girls, they're not broken. They are not misbehaving. They do not require being fixed. You're frog farming. Yep, you're frog farming. That's pretty much how that works.
Okay, so I have to ask, what is frog farming?
Boy, I've been trying not to do that. So let's talk about the fairy tale. This is a great fairy tale. Princess goes, she's sitting by the fountain, a frog pops up next to her. She wants so desperately to be in love, so she's going to kiss the frog, and mwah, amazing, there's a prince. Well, there's a reason why fairy tales are fairy tales. The reality is there's a perfectly good prince standing in front of you. He is not broken. He is not misbehaved. There is nothing wrong with him. He does not need to be fixed. And here you go, kissing him, trying to fix him. Well, babe, you just frog farmed. Think about how many men in your life were perfectly fine, but you kissed him too hard, or you kissed him too much, or you tried to fix something that wasn't broken, or you thought they were misbehaving, but they weren't. You frog farmed. Every woman frog farms. We're notorious for it. Sorry, girls.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay, that's I like that explanation.
So that's frog farm.
Good.
Okay.
One of the things that I talk about in my relationship workshops is I ask people if they know the difference between men and women. And I immediately say it's not about equipment, because they look at me like, Ed. So the difference between men and women is this. Man looks at a woman and says, you're perfect exactly the way you are. Do not change. And a woman looks at a man and says, oh, I can work with this.
This is correct. That's why the difference between men and women is so unique. It's very much, it's not about the woman going, I can work with this. It's about the woman taking the step back going, I am queen. He does not need to be fixed. I could hang out with him. I could develop a connection. Once you get to the connection point is where women have the attachment. And attachment can go south quickly, because think about it. Everyone gets attached to something. Perfect example is, I know that when you do your money workshops, people are attached to money.
Right.
Well, attachment means attachment to outcome. When you pull yourself out of that attachment and you're in connection, what do you get? Abundance. Correct?
Yes.
It's the same thing with men and women. Women become attached faster.
Okay.
Men are single focused. They find a woman and they're like, she'll do. I could see spending time with her. Men don't look at love the same way that women do. Women look at love, it's like a Hallmark movie, like the actual movie. It's not about the movie, ladies. It's about the feeling that the movie gives you. It's about having that aha moment. It's not, your life is never going to be a Hallmark movie. I'm sorry to disappoint you. It's not going to happen that way. If you're lucky and you can stay in connection with someone, go there, stay in connection, be in connection, stop becoming attached. It's not going to work. Men don't become attached to women like that. When they do, it's because they care. And I will tell you, like I tell every one of my clients, especially my women clients, when a man tells me that he cares about me, I'm done. I am absolutely done. That means he cares about me. That's as good, if not better, than love. Because that means he wants to protect me. It means he wants to provide for me. It means he wants to have sex with me. Yay me!
All right. So we've also talked about the fact that we also talked about the fact that there was a difference between relationship and partnership. Would you talk a little bit about that?
The difference between, I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
The difference between relationship and partner.
Yes. Relationships. So when strategizing, you can have a variety of relationships. You can have, especially when we're talking about the opposite sex, because that's what we're going to talk about for a few minutes. You can have, or even the same sex, it doesn't matter. A love relationship. You can have a sexual relationship. You can have a romantic relationship. You can have a friendship. You can have all these different kinds of ships. Ships come and go. But much like building something, you want to build a partnership. If you're going into business with somebody, you're investing your money, you're investing your time, you are building a partnership, you are building something. When you're in a relationship, whether it's romantic, whether it's sexual, it doesn't matter. You're in it. You're just in it. And another thing that, ladies, I'm sorry, again, you might not like me after this, but that's okay. Another thing that you guys love to do is you guys like to say that you're in a relationship and you haven't asked. You haven't asked him. Does he want to be in a sexual relationship? Does he want to be in a romantic relationship? Is he looking for partnership? I used to have to ask men that, and now I don't, because I attract men that are partnership material. They say it before I have to. So again, yay me. As I straighten my crown. That's the difference between being in something and building something.
Okay. That makes perfect sense.
I think that if I was to ask you, Ed, let's you and Marge have a beautiful partnership.
Yes.
Would you call you and Marge's ship a relationship, or would you call it a partnership? Because it's a lifetime thing, right?
Yes. Yeah, I've always referred to it as a partner.
So that's the difference. But you have to have yeah. The first relationship that you have to have, and we both completely agree on this, is the relationship with self.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be first. If you can't love self, if you can't enjoy self, if you don't value and are selfish, not acting selfishly, if you are not selfish, how is someone else going to treat you?
Right.
They're going to treat you based on the way that you treat yourself.
Yep.
So I'm in partnership with myself as well.
Good. I like that. And you and I agree on that 100% in the relationship work that I do and the relationship work that you do, partnership work that you do. It always starts with self-love. You have to, someone says to me, and I know they've said to you, how do I get better? How do I have a better relationship? And the answer isn't jumping into another relationship. The answer is working on yourself. Self-love.
Mm-hmm. The first ship that you should be on is your own ship, and you should be the captain.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, here's the big one. What's the difference between sex and intimacy?
I love this one. This right now, between the dating coaching that I'm doing, which is going very famously, it's phenomenal, and my sex and intimacy talks. These are my favorite subjects. So there's a difference between sex and intimacy. So let's actually look at the word sex. And sex is the animal/human act for procreation or human satisfaction. Again, human satisfaction, human procreation. Intimacy, often confused, especially by women, with sex, is the connection felt through one's spirit. Let's say spirit. It's the heart connection. Okay. That's where intimacy lies. So when a woman wants to be intimate with a man, she should word that very carefully, because the man's probably thinking you want to get jiggy with it. And that's because intimacy has become an urban slang. It really has. I was talking this morning about how intimacy has become an urban slang. Intimacy is the spiritual connection. So a lot of Allison's work, especially when it comes to understanding men and understanding women, it all focuses around the human spirit and the human animal and the human spirit. They're two separate things. Human animal, sex. Human spirit, intimacy. Got it?
Got it.
That's the difference.
Okay. So the
I'm sure the don't like that one either. Sorry?
so the sex part is more about the reptile brain. It's more about the extending of the species, etc. And it's not necessarily based in intimacy or love. I mean, it can be, but it's not necessarily.
Yes, and no. Yes, it is the act of procreation. There's also chemicals involved, lots of chemicals. But when you bring intimacy into sex, it's you're in this. When you're having sex and you're wanting it to be intimate and you're wanting to combine the two, it really has to be in partnership, because you're bringing in two separate pieces. You're bringing in your human spirit and your human animal, and you're overlaying them. So there's a difference between the overlaying part and there's not a lot of people that are going to get there. It takes a lot of work and a lot of trust and a lot of time and a lot of building and a lot of stuff that goes into getting those two pieces to overlay. And since everybody in the human world is kind of here or here, you've got to get there. It's work. It's a program. You got to work the program in order for the program to work. Is it impossible? No. But it is work. It's not lazy work either.
Okay. And you teach all of this and you help people, you help your clients with all of this.
Yep.
Okay, good.
We do a lot of work on how to differentiate. Women and men both need, sorry?
I didn't say anything. Go ahead.
So women and men both need a little bit of help, because, men need to understand that. Okay. They need to understand the difference of saying, hey, I want to have sex. Would you like to have sex with me? And women need to say, I want to be intimate with you and I need connection. And that's where the confusion between the sexes happens, is that we assume, which we have both read the 4 agreements and we both know that assumption is a bad word.
Yes.
So let's not assume. Let's go ahead and use the fact that we need to be open and honest in our communication with each other. And that's big.
Okay. Let's talk about communication.
Right. My daughter's leaving for cheer. Bye, Addison.
Let's talk about some of the miscommunication and how men and women don't communicate well with each other, and what would be something, if you could tip or something that might help with that.
Okay. So I'll tell you what, let's start off with talking about how women's brains are different than men's. I think that's a good place for me to start, if that's okay.
Sure.
I think that women need to understand that we're born with an extra brain. Okay, we have this perfect brain up in here. I call mine my girl brain. The emoji that I use often is the octopus with the brain next to it, because we have, sorry, my dog is now going to go crazy. Universe, work with me here. Working against me, not with me. So the girl brain is like an octopus. It has 8 different things going on inside of it at once. It can't focus like a man's brain can. A man can think about 10 things. He can have 10 things that he thinks about, but he's going to do one thing at a time. However, a woman can cook dishes, take care of kids, wash the dishes, or I'm sorry, cook dinner, wash the dishes, take care of the kids. Notice that there's a dirty sock on the floor. They can take care of, remembering that the laundry needs to be washed, that the electric bill needs to be paid, and that their husband's on their way home and they probably should put lip gloss on. We can do all those things because we're nurturers. That's what we do. We walk through and give berry markers, and we expect men to understand what the berry markers mean. Markers, they are just listening to you because you are pretty. And be more obvious with your markers. If you planted strawberries and you need him to know that there are strawberries planted in that spot, you need to say, as you're telling your story, I went to the grocery store today and blah, because he hears Charlie Brown. He hears Charlie Brown's teacher. You need to say, oh, well, there's the light bulb. Now he's focused again because he's listening to you. Or saying, I really could use some of your undivided attention. Can you give me 15 minutes? If you ask a man for 15 minutes of your undivided attention, he will give it to you. Be careful what you ask for, okay, and how you ask. Because if you ask for it and then you don't like what he has to say, well, you not only set him up for failure, but you've also set yourself up for failure. Because you asked him to do something and he gave it to you and you don't like the answer. Well, shame on you. If you don't need his help or you don't require his assistance, then don't ask him in that way. Please put that dog inside of the other room. It's very important. Have to be direct and concise. Think of it as talking to a scientist. If you're not talking to the Hulk, you're talking to the scientist. That's the part that's important. They will give you what you ask for, and they will give it to you in the most amazing ways. But when you ask them for something and you're saying, you're having this beautiful conversation and you've asked them for their 15 minutes, they're providing you with 15 minutes, you have this problem at work, you are asking him about it, and then he wants to give you the information, but you don't like it, and then you talk over him and over him and over him. Well, guess what just happened? Now he's back to hearing Charlie Brown's teacher again. And he's probably angry with you. So now you didn't ask him to hold your verbal vomit bucket. You asked him to help you fix a problem. Be precise, be aware of what you're saying and how you're saying it. It's extremely important. And for God's sake, when they talk, stop talking. Count to 30. And don't get me wrong, I'm not I have to work on this constantly. Tape challenge month after all. Love you, bye. I know, he's gonna do it anyway. Sorry, we are cheerleading. We are in cheer boot camp. So love you too. Thank you. She's 13. I still get love you. I'm excited about that. Sorry. So definitely let's use our words better. Let's get out of our girl brain and go into our heart space. You know, does he like me? Who cares? Do you like you? You know, does his opinion of you matter to me? Okay, maybe it does. You know, but are you assuming? Why are you assuming? Why don't you just ask? Do you think he won't answer you? He'll answer you. Crazy. And that's a girl brain for you.
Okay. Now, do you have any insight into the male brain?
It's frozen in the smiley face. It's easy. Men are hunters.
Okay.
They can have 10
Okay.
things on their brain, but they're only going to give you one thing at a time. So let's talk about a man. Men are easy. They are hunters. Let's talk about the lovely. Are you
Yes.
ready? Okay. They're hunters. There can be 10 deer in the field. They are going to look at all 10 deer, but they're only going to make one shot. Okay. They can look at them all. They see them all, but they're going to see. They are here to procreate. They are here to protect, and they are here to provide. Okay. They are absolutely amazing. They are not broken. They do not need to be fixed. They do not need to be treated like girls because they're not. They are men. From the time that they are little and climbing curtains, and everyone says, oh, boys will be boys. Well, yeah, boys will be boys. Let them climb the curtain. You know, they want to play with their swords and they want to come to your rescue. Yes, they go through that stage. You know, they're young and they want to have adventures. Yes, they do. They're going to go through that stage too. Men have stages. They have stages of development. You can't come in and think that you're going to find a young prince and make him into a king. It doesn't work that way. They do it at their own pace. As much as women want to come in and fix them, they're going to do it at their own pace. And they're going to tell you what they want. If you ask them, they will tell you what they want. They will tell you what they need. They will tell you what they require. And when they don't tell you, it's because they're protecting themselves, usually their family jewels, because you have emasculated them, as have the women before you, as have probably their mothers, their aunts, their grandmothers. God only knows how long men have been emasculated, at least since the 1920s, to this extent anyway. So, of course, you know, give men some credit, ladies. They're actually smart and brilliant and amazing. And if you stop and duct tape for 30 seconds and let them talk to you, they will tell you everything you could want to know. They're single focused. Use that. They're going to get you to the restaurant. It's going to be a safe ride. You don't have to tell them all the way to the restaurant how to get to the restaurant. They either have a GPS, they know how to get there, or they're not afraid to get lost with you. Go have fun, get lost. Stop controlling every single aspect. Men know what they're doing. They're fine. They're well equipped. They're beautiful, magnificent creatures. Each and every one of them are so fantastic. Stop and look at them. Like that's my challenge. I challenge every woman watching this program. I have a challenge. You're going to love this. You guys can all check in with Ed. My challenge is not only the 30-second duct tape, but as you're watching men, not only the men in your life, but the men around you, stop. Watch them. Don't say anything. Watch them. Watch how they walk. If a man opens the door for you and you say thank you, stop and say thank you. Tell a man that helps you with something, you're my hero. Watch them go from this to this like that. Men are heroes. That's what their job is. Their job is to come to our rescue, not because we're damsels in distress, but because that's what their job is. That's their job. Let them do their damn job. No one's coming in telling you how to be a woman. Stop telling them how to be men. They don't need your help. They're fine. They're not broken. That's my rant.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Have anything to add, Ed, since you are a man?
No, that's good. Let's go back to what the single most important thing is again, and let's talk about that a little bit more.
Okay.
Which is that it has to start with you, and that's true for men and for women. You tell the world how to treat you by the way you treat yourself.
Correct. That is why every woman that works with me always Queen's Code first.
Okay. Okay.
It's about self.
Yes. And our society has taught us to look out here instead of to look in here, instead of to fix our, so everything is a mirror and everything is being reflected back to us. And instead of changing it from here, we're trying to change the reflection in the mirror from the mirror.
Correct.
Okay. So is part of your work, do you help people with self-esteem also?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to make sure I say this the right way, because I want to make sure I say it so both sexes understand.
Okay.
The reason that women and men have such differences in the way that they look at self is not only their experiences as they go throughout their lifetimes, which I'm sure you agree. It's also about how we incorporate it into our current experience. So sometimes, and I'm sure that, because I know you. I tell my people to do the same thing you told me to do, which I still do to this very day. The only difference is a man does Superman and a woman does Wonder Woman. That's right. The difference. Everyone stands in their power.
Yep.
You have to stand in your own power. That is where it all begins. It all begins in heart center. If you can pull out of your girl brain and go into heart center and ask if it's true for you and get the answer, you're on your way. Looking in a mirror, it's a mirror. Mirrors break. It's like a cup. Your freaking cup breaks, throw it away. Go buy a new cup. That cup was meant to be broken. Why are you focusing on that cup? There's plenty of other cups out there. You know, when people start dating, it's like, start collecting fish, put them in your pool. Figure out which fish you like, whichever fish you like, hang out with that fish. See if he's your fish. If he's not your fish, then catch and release, ladies. Let's go. Catch and release. Sort. Men are excellent sorters. Men sort faster than women do, unless they're a man that's looking for something that he's not getting from himself. And that's when we have to start taking that step back and going, how can we help you? Let's help you. Let's help you realize and define the beautiful man that you are. Because men are beautiful. They have beautiful hearts and souls. They're not broken. Do you maybe need a little esteem boost? Do you need to be told that you're a hero? How can I support you? Men need more support in order to get where they go, for me personally, than women do. Women need protocol. We need strategy. Men need support. Men need to know that they got this. They're going to be all right. It's your heart's not broken. It's just broken open for someone else to come into. It's the same thing with women. I'm shattered. I'm crumbled. Oh my God, what will I ever do? Oh wait, if your heart's broken open, how about we fill it with self first? That way we have a nice little protection. And then we will turn around and we will find someone that will love you the way you want to be loved. And as a person who has been divorced for a while now and has done a lot of dating, and has attracted a variety, again, let's talk about the mirror, has attracted a variety of men and has done some petty Betty manifesting, which Ed, you would have loved that story. As someone who's done that, I can now say that not only do I stand in my, because I prefer to call it an omega, because I prefer that.
Okay.
Not only do I now bring in more alpha males, I also know how to interact with them. And that's where the pivot is. Finding self, working with self, moving forward.
I love that.
Petty Betty.
I love that.
Remind me to tell you that story, Ed.
Yes, I will. I'm curious about that. I love that. Ginny is is making a comment about it in the comments. So, one of the other things that I wanted to
It's
talk.
your fault. It's your fault.
Go ahead. Are you still there?
No,
Trish?
I'm good. Oh, you're doing.
Okay.
Ed and I are going to take water at the same time.
Okay.
So by the time he's done talking, I'll be ready to go.
All right, there you go. Perfect. So one of the things that occasionally comes up in my workshops too is people say to me, well, my relationship failed. And the guides come through almost immediately on that and say relationships don't fail. When people are talking about failed relationships, they're talking about length of time and that they were assuming that they were going to go on forever, and not all relationships go on forever, but that doesn't mean that they failed. If you have learned something from it, if you have grown, if you have opened your heart, if you've experienced, if you've moved your energy forward, any of that, none of that is a failure. The length of time has nothing to do with the quality of a relationship. You can have a wonderful relationship for a month or two and that be the end of it. So do you have any comments about that?
Actually, after talking with you on Monday, I believe maybe last Friday, whenever it was that we talked, because I've lost track of my days. My days are starting to meld. So when you and I were having that conversation the other day, and I had actually said the word failed, I actually took stock in that. My marriage did not fail. My marriage was wonderful and it was beautiful. And my ex-husband is an amazing man. And I definitely set him up for failure. But that was me that did that. I didn't set him up for success. I didn't tell him what I needed. He didn't tell me what he needed. And that's okay. We learned a lot, and we have 5 beautiful children. And
Yes.
they're all so amazing. They are spectacular and unique and beautiful in every single way. So am I going to tell anyone that my ex-husband is this, that, and the other? No. Did our marriage fail? It just didn't work. It didn't work when it stopped working.
Right.
But he's a wonderful man and he is an amazing father, and I will forever and ever and always love him.
Yep.
So I agree.
Good.
Relationships don't fail.
Correct.
Time changes and people change.
Right.
And that's the difference.
Right. And
so that's my reflection on what you gave me. Thank you.
yes. And as you said, you learned.
See, I learned quick.
You learned so much from it and you became a better person because of it. So how can that be called a failure?
I agree.
Excellent. So we are, it's 10 minutes to 5 already. I told you it would go really fast. It goes quick. So we're going to open it up to questions. Trish is going to stick around for the questions also if you have specific questions for her, and we'll go from there. So if you guys will just give me a second. I do have one question that was sent ahead of time, so I'm going to start there. I'm going to pull in the guides in just a second, and we'll go from there. If you want to type in a question, Marge will put them up. All right. And Marge, once again, is doing a great job flying the plane. So let me get the guides. And the first question is from Violet, and is.
I want everyone to know I have watched Ed 1,000. Oh, sorry, Ed.
Go ahead. Okay.
I've watched almost every single one of these, and this has never happened before. The delay.
Right.
So I'm really worried about our woo. Like maybe we should get together sometime and see how big the woo is, because this has never happened.
Okay.
Not one of your programs. Not one.
I know. All right.
And my internet's up to speed, and I'm on all the high def stuff. I'm doing good. And I'm like, what is going on? So first off, thank you everyone for being so incredibly patient.
Yes.
And thank you for having me on.
Of course.
Now I'm duct taping.
All right. Okay. So this is a question from Violet. Is there anything more I can do to let love and joy into my life? And that's a wonderful question, Violet. And we're glad that you're asking that. And this is perfect for this show and for what we've been talking about with Trish, and Trish has been talking about, is you're looking out here for the answer. And the only place that you can find the answer is within. Now, joy, love, happiness, those are all vibrations. And when you emanate those vibrations from inside of you, that's what's reflected back to you in the mirror. So your work is to remember that joy is a feeling, and do what you can to conjure the feeling of joy within you, and then that is projected out. Rather than looking for something outside of you to make you feel joyful, you create it from within and send it out. It's the difference between being a lighthouse and shining your light out, or being something that sort of sucks up, like a vacuum cleaner that obviously doesn't suck up light, but you understand. So it's the difference between being a lighthouse and sending light out, or being a vacuum cleaner and trying to find something outside of you to fill something within. So we think that that's a good place for that. We'll see if anybody else has any other questions. Rob has a question for the guides. I've been talking with the lady at work. Should I pursue this or should I back off? Let's see. We would, as we're learning from Trish in this show here today, we would, in a compassionate way, that's not the right word, in a gentle way, we would let her know that there is, you have an interest in her, and politely ask her for a coffee or something like that, and let it be whatever it is. Let her respond to you in whatever way she wants to, and let that be all right. Don't force the issue. We would check in and to make sure that we're not up here in our heads and that we're a little more in our hearts. So check in with that, check and see where the feeling is coming from. If it's more of a, if it's a mental thing, or if it's a feeling thing, which can be challenging for men, but that's what we would do. Trish, do you have any comments about this?
Oh, I have so much to say.
Okay, please.
I'm going to keep it brief.
Okay.
Be uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable. It's not comfortable. Dating is not comfortable. It's okay to be uncomfortable. If she's talking to you and you're talking to her, just ask. Ask. You're beating around the bush and you're going to lose interest fast. So just ask her. The worst thing she can say is no, thank you. That's the worst thing.
Good.
And if that's the worst thing, move on.
Yep.
There's other fish that you can put in your pool. I know, I have lots of fish out there.
Good. Okay. And I just want to make it clear that Trish works with men also. It's not just women that she works with. She works also with men. Her information has been up during the entire show. So if you are a man or a woman and would like to work with Trish, that information has been up there so that you can get in touch with her. And good. All right, Pauline has a question. I would like to ask the guides about how to manifest the big stuff. I can manifest the small things. Thank you. Well, thank you, Pauline. Thank you for this wonderful question. We appreciate it. And the answer is that manifesting a button or manifesting a castle is the same thing. The difference is, and the part where people run into trouble with this is you have a very different belief about the button than you do about the castle. You believe that the button should be an easy thing to manifest, and you believe a castle should be a hard thing to manifest. So your experience is that the castle is a hard thing to manifest. So it really is about shifting your beliefs and understanding. Now, the way we would do this is we would celebrate the fact that we are manifesting small things, because that is showing you and teaching you that you can do this, that you already know how to manifest, you understand manifesting, you're good at manifesting, and it's simply a matter of finding a way to make the big thing not big, right? If we're expecting some big thing to really change our life, there's all kinds of fear and all kinds of belief around that. So we have to make the big thing not such a big thing. Abraham refers to it as the next logical step. When it feels like the next logical step and it's not some big, scary, big thing, then it's easy to manifest. So it is a matter of shifting your beliefs and letting the big things become normal, regular things. And as you do that, it takes some practice. And as you do that, your manifestation will continue to get better and better and better. Wonderful question, Pauline. Thank you very much. And Ellen has a question. Should I ask my guy what he needs from me? He is very guarded and self-sufficient. So, Trish, if you don't mind, I'm going to let you answer that one.
You use your words, first of all. It's not what he needs from you. It's how can you support him? If he's guarded and he's self-sufficient, he probably doesn't need anything from you. However, if you ask him how you can support him and give him that space and that time and those 30 seconds in between him saying nothing to saying something, to maybe even taking a week or two to say something, because sometimes men don't say things right away. Sometimes they process. They're not like us. They don't have a girl brain that's going in 8 different directions. They're single focused, and sometimes they want to think about that. How do I need support from her? How can I have her support from me? What does it look like? How does it feel? I mean, they have brains. So my suggestion is you say exactly this. Babe, I've been thinking about you a lot. I'd love to know how I can support you in whatever it is that he's going through. Please let me know. And then shut your mouth. Walk away, 30-second duct tape challenge, whatever it takes. Give him that time. He'll come back. He'll tell you what he needs. And if he doesn't need anything, then he doesn't need anything. If he wants support, he'll tell you how to support him. Men are very self-sufficient and they are guarded. They protect themselves first. They protect themselves and they protect their feelings about us from us until they are ready. You guys are trying to dig, stop. You're digging. You can't use dynamite. They'll let you know when they're ready. Don't try and blow stuff up. Don't get it out of proportion. Let them go at their own pace. Don't push. Relax. Connect. Don't worry about the outcome. Breathe. My God, woman, breathe. I feel she needs to breathe really badly.
Okay. Oh, good.
That's what I would tell you to do. Ask him how you can support him. He doesn't need you. He needs your support.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Trish. Wonderful answer. Thank you. There's a question from Kayla. How does the ascension process cause so much physical pain, and how can we tell when it's spiritual or a medical emergency? Wow, that's a big, big question. Well, Kayla, part of it is how sensitive to energy you are. And you are a very, very strong empath, and you do feel very deeply, and you tend to hold in your body some of the things that you feel. We love you, and you know that. And one of the things is agreement number 2, where you are taking things personally and you're holding it in. Physical pain is trapped emotion. And when you hold too much of it and you take on too much of other people's energy, being such an empath and such a healer that you are, which you do, that can cause quite a churning and everything in you. Now, as far as how do you tell the difference between when it's a ascension and when it's a medical emergency, we always suggest that you go towards the medical. You do not ignore, you do not, if you're feeling pain, if you're feeling discomfort and you're concerned about it, we would always seek medical attention and not, we're not going to advise you not to do that. Always seek medical attention. That's really important. But as you continue to do your work, and as the ascension process continues, you will in time find it easier. But you are going through a huge metamorphosis right now, and that is part of it. And there's much, much more for us to say to you, but some of it is too personal to say on this forum, and we're also we're running out of time. But for now, that's what we would say. So light and love to you, Kayla. Alyssa, I've been in a space of feeling a shift coming, but I don't know what direction to turn. Do I actually search for my calling or trust and wait? We would, the difference is when you go searching for it, you're no longer allowing. Now you're putting your mental process on it. Now you're starting to mix up. So let's say that it's a beautiful color of purple, and when you go searching for it, now you're adding some orange paint to it and you're making it brown. So we would sort of relax and wait and allow it to come. One of the things that happens is people tend to be impatient. We're in a world where everybody wants everything and they want it right now. Where if you look at the natural world, we don't plant corn today and have corn tomorrow. It takes a while for it to grow and to manifest. So what we would do is we would use this mantra. Everything is always working out for me, and I am right on track. And allow that to be your experience rather than going out and going after it. There's a big difference between motivation and inspiration. Motivation is someone wagging a finger at you, telling you you need to do this, where inspiration is a feeling that comes from within, where you're inspired and then you're inspired to the action. So we would reach for the inspiration and let it be more, let the action come from inspiration rather than doing action from action's sake, for action's sake. So thank you for your question. It's a wonderful question. I think we're just about out of time here. We're a little bit over time. Trish, did you have any final comments that you wanted to add?
No, but don't forget your challenge. Duct tape, girls. Duct tape month.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Check out the men around you. Say thank you. You know, it's, believe it or not, your crown can be a pretty one. You don't have to always be in your masculine. You can step in your divine feminine. It works just as well. And thank you, Ed, for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, Trish. Thank you. And yeah, we will have to figure out energetically what's going on here. But thank you. We appreciate it. And thank you to all our viewers and everybody who joined in and all the comments and all. We really appreciate that. Thank you, Marge, for doing a wonderful job. My website is posted there.
Thank you, Marge.
We are doing all of our workshops still on Zoom. We are going to be doing Zoom workshops for Star Nation. There's 2 of them coming up this month. You can check out our website for that. Thank you, Neshi. Thank you, Trish. Thank you, everybody who is watching. We will see you next month. The guides want you to know that you're worthy. Light and love, guys. Take care. Thank you.